Something really strange is happening in American healthcare right now. It feels like it's splitting into two completely different worlds, almost running on parallel tracks. On one side, you have the standard system that most of us are familiar with. But then there's this other track, this world of elite, personalized care. And we're not just talking about nicer hospital rooms. This is a massive split in how medicine is even practiced.
In this slide, this really gets to the heart of it. In standard care, you, the patient, are pretty much on your own, trying to navigate this complicated maze of appointments, referrals, and insurance. But in the world of elite care, the roles are completely flipped. The system is actually designed to navigate for you. It handles everything.
So in this explainer, we're going to break down this great healthcare divide. We'll start with the waiting game, then look at the huge difference between reactive and proactive care. After that, we'll dive into the incredible tech gap, what it all costs, and finally, what all of this means for the system as a whole.
Okay, let's jump right in with Chapter 1, the waiting game. This is probably the first place you really feel the difference. For most people, seeing a doctor means getting past a gatekeeper. For a select few, it's like having your own personal health concierge.
So here's the fundamental problem in the standard system, and this number is just staggering. A single primary care doctor is often responsible for managing the health of up to 2,500 people. Just think about that for a second. That's like one person being the doctor for an entire small town. It makes that deep preventative care we all want almost impossible to deliver.
Now, look at this. In the concierge world, that number is intentionally kept small, usually around 500 patients per doctor. That is a five-fold drop in the number of patients. And that one change is what makes everything else, the time, the access, the focused attention, possible.
And here's what that 2,500 to 1 ratio actually looks like in real life. If you're trying to see a new doctor in a major city, you're looking at an average wait of about a month. For almost any health issue that isn't a true emergency, your first prescription is basically just patience.
Compare that to the promise of concierge medicine. Near instant access. We're talking same-day or next-day appointments as the norm. And this isn't just about convenience, right? It means a small problem can get treated before it has a chance to blow up into something much bigger.
So all of this leads us right into our next chapter, where we see how this difference in access creates two totally different philosophies of care. The standard system is constantly putting out fires, while the elite model is all about building fireproof walls.
This table just lays it all out so clearly. In standard care, you're lucky if you get 15 minutes to talk about whatever's wrong right now. It's all reactive. You have to go through the front desk for everything. But in the concierge model, appointments can last an hour, even 90 minutes. The whole goal shifts to preventing illness. You often get your doctor's personal cell phone number for 24/7 access, which lets you really focus on root causes and long-term health.
All right, now for Chapter 3, the Tech Toolbox. And this is where the gap between the two systems stops looking like a divide and starts looking like a massive chasm. We're talking about diagnostic tech that is a total game changer, but only for those who can afford it.
In these elite longevity clinics, patients get access to a whole suite of tools that your insurance company will almost never pay for. Think AI-powered whole-body MRIs that can spot cancer before you even have symptoms, whole-genome sequencing to map out your personal genetic risks, AI that can analyze the plaque in your heart arteries with incredible accuracy. They can even test how you'll react to specific drugs before you ever take them.
And, a quote from a medical journal really sums it up perfectly. It says this model is proactive, preventative, and fully personalized. It's a glimpse of the future of medicine, where you catch diseases at stage 0 and treatment is tailored to your unique biology. But the big question is, who gets access to that future? Well, that brings us right to Chapter 4, the price of access. We've seen the amazing service and the incredible technology. But what does it all cost? And maybe more importantly, does all that money actually buy you what you really want? A longer, healthier life? The price tags here can be, well, they're pretty jaw-dropping. Some of the more basic concierge practices might cost a few $1,000s a year. But the top-of-the-line longevity clinics, the ones with all that advanced tech, they can run up to $85,000 a year. And get this, that's on top of your regular health insurance. So that leads us back to the multi-million-dollar question, or I guess in this case, the $85,000 question. You're getting more time with your doctor, more data, more attention. But does any of it actually translate into more time on Earth? The research on this is really interesting, and it might not be what you think.
Okay, so here's the bombshell.
A huge study from the University of Pennsylvania found that while concierge medicine did increase healthcare spending by as much as 50%, it had no significant impact on mortality rates. What that suggests is that what patients are really buying is convenience, access, and peace of mind, not necessarily more years of life. So if the ultra-wealthy aren't necessarily living longer because of this, what's the impact on everybody else? In our final chapter, let's zoom out and look at how this trend is creating a system that's deeply divided, mostly because of something called the brain drain effect.
The way this works is actually pretty simple, but it has a devastating effect on the public system. When a top doctor leaves their standard practice of, say, 2,500 patients to open a concierge clinic with just 500, they basically create a care vacuum. 2,000 patients are suddenly left behind or orphaned, and they're all forced to find a new doctor in a system that's already stretched thin, and that just makes those long wait times we talked about even worse. And this isn't some tiny trend. It is absolutely exploding. But what's really wild here isn't just the growth, but who's driving it. Between 2018 and 2023, the number of corporate-backed concierge practices grew by a staggering 576%. Big, for-profit companies are seeing a massive business opportunity here and are scaling up this luxury model fast.
And this leaves us with a final, really provocative question. As these two healthcare tracks drift further and further apart, what does that mean for us as a society? We're basically watching longevity itself get privatized, where the very tools to live a longer and healthier life are being sold as a premium service. The question isn't just whether this is a future we want, but what happens when the ability to live longer becomes the ultimate luxury good?